Shalom and welcome to this week's Hebrew class. And today's lesson will be from the book of John again, and it is chapter 3, verses 15 to 18. So let us begin. And as I always do, we have a chart of the Nikud, the vowel markings, to help anyone who's relatively new, to remind us exactly how to use the vowels. And then we have these great resources which will help you invariably in understanding the root words and transliterations, everything. This one here, Briyth Chadashah, is very good in giving us transliteration and color coding the meanings of the words, which is very helpful. So let us begin. And so we're in verse 15. It's represented by a tet, which has a value of 9, being the 9th letter of the alphabet, and a vav being the 6th letter of the alphabet. So we come to 15. And we begin with the letters. Lamed, mem, ayin, nun, so fit. That's nun at the end of a word, which is different from a normal nun. And then we have aleph, shin, resh, lamed, aleph, yod, aleph, veit, because there's no dot there, dalet, kaf, lamed, hey, mem, aleph, mem, yod, nun, so fit again, and beit, vav. So let's read it. Lema'an. Lema'an. It can mean for the sake. Let's have a look what other meanings it has. Lema'an is as a prep, can mean in order to, so that, for the sake, for the benefit. So I've used for the sake, shir, that, lo, not, yovad. Yovad means shall perish. If we look at the root, avad, it's a kol verb meaning lost, perish, destroy, exterminate. Shall perish, kol. Now that is a kamatz rule, where this kamatz, when it's a closed syllable, and usually the first, then we can say it like an O sound, kol. Ha, ma, a, min. All the ones believing. And then bo, in him. So I've given you down here the root for believing is he'emin. It's a verb to believe. And then we've got amin, which as an adjective means faithful and true. And I've given you bo, which is third person masculine singular, in him or in it. But I've also given you bo, which sounds the same, but it's different. It has no left. It's a verb to come, to enter. Right, and the translation, the Son of Man be lifted up, that's from the previous lesson, so that all believing in him should not perish. So now we can read that. Le ma'an asher lo yovad kol ha ma'amin bo. And the usual straight translation, for the sake that not shall perish all the ones believing in him. And now we turn to 15b, and we have a kaf, a yod, a lef, mem sovit, mem at the end of a word. As you can see, it looks different than this mem, but it's used at the end of a word. Then we have yod, mem, zade, aleph, veit, vav, chet, yod, yod, ayin, vav, lamed, mem safit, and we read im. Now that comes from ki im, Ki im is usually translated as but. And we look down there, ki im is a conjunction because if, but, rather. So you'll find it often as but it's together, ki im. But yim sa, he shall find. And I'll put he because no pronoun usually means he. Right? It could mean it, but in this case, he shall find. Vo, which is in him, chaye, life. And that's more like a construct form. life, meaning it's connected with the next word, which is olam, meaning eternal. So, should not perish from the previous part, but shall find in him life eternal. So I've given you matzah, which is a kal verb to find, to discover, and then I've given you chai, which is a kal verb to live. And then we also see it as chayim. And chayim is an adjective meaning life, living, existence. And so now we can read that. Ki im yimtza vo chaye olam. But he shall find in him life eternal. And we come to 16. It's represented with the tet, which has a value of 9, being the 9th letter of the alphabet, and zayin, which is the 7th letter of the alphabet. And we have kaf, yod, aleph, hey, vayet, hey, resh, bayet, hey, aleph, hey, vayet, hey, aleph, lamed, hey, yod, mem safit, aleph, tav, hey, ayin, vav, lamed, mem safit. Remembering that when it's in white, it's not pronounced. So we read, ki, for, ahava, devotion. So I've added with devotion, for with devotion. And of course, ahava is a feminine noun, and it can mean love, devotion, passion. So you can say for with passion. Rabba, which is great. Great passion or great love. Ava, he loves. Now, what's the difference between this one and this one? This is a noun, and this is a verb. So therefore, it's he loved. That becomes a verb then. Ha Elohim, the Elohim, et ha olam, grammar marker, the world. For Elohim so loved the world. So I've given you also a half, to love, to like. Rava, which is a kal verb, to increase, to multiply. But from the root rav, as an adjective, we get it as great, large, vast, numerous. So there we've used great for rava. Rabbah. In this case, it's rabbah, whereas in the dictionary, it's ravah. So sometimes you'll see it as a vet, sometimes as a bet. Sometimes that can be confusing, but we just, with the vowel marks and whatnot, we know how to read it. So let's read. Ki, ahava, rabbah, ahav, ha Elohim et ha olam. For with devotion great, he loved the Elohim, the world, grammar marker, the world. Remembering that always it tells us after the action who it's talking about. So he loved, then it tells us who loved, the Elohim. Bit different in English, which always has the definition at the beginning, for Elohim so loved, which is the other way around. So now we turn to 16b, and we have an ayin, dalet, aleph, shin, resh, nun, tav, nun safit. So this is the nun at the end, this is the normal nun. Aleph, tav, bayet, nun, vav. Aleph, tav, yod, chet, yod, dalet, vav. Lamed, mem, ayin, nun safit, aleph, shin, resh. Remembering that this vav is not pronounced, it's only the vowel sound that is. So let's have a look. Ad, meaning, and this can have various meaning. If we look down here, ad as a prep can mean to, until, as many as, such, up to. In order to make it sound all right, you could say up till that, or we've just chosen such that, because a shir means that. Natan, he gave. Et, grammar marker. Beno, beno, the O at the end is his son. Et, grammar marker, yechido. He's unique. So how do we get that? Yechid, as an adjective or noun, it means single, sole, unique, or only. So often they'll translate it, like here, as only. But I've decided to use his unique. Lema'an, again, for the sake, share that. The reason I use that one, not so that, is that the following word is that. So I put for the sake, for the benefit, that. And I've given you down here, let ma'an as a prep in order to, so that, for the sake, for the benefit. Again. Right, so the normal translation, the world. So he loved the world. To the extent that he gave his only son, so that. And now we can read that. Ad asher natan et beno et yechido lema'an asher. Such that he gave, grammar marker, his son, grammar marker, his unique son, that is, for the sake that. And so we come to 16c. We have a lamed, aleph, yod, aleph, vet, dalet, kaf, lamed, hey, mem, aleph, mem, yod, nun, safit, bet, vav, kaf, yod, aleph, mem, safit, yod, chet, yod, hey. So I do it a little bit faster to see how you're going with your letters. See if you can keep up. Now we begin. Lo, meaning not. Yovad, we had that before, shall perish, not shall perish. Kol, again, it's not kol, but using the kamatz rule, it's kol, meaning all. Ha ma'amin, meaning the ones believing, because it's like a participle form with a mem. Bo, in him. And then we've got again, ki im, but. Yich, yea, which is shall live. So how do we get that? Well, it's because the yod is future and the root of it is chai. Right, now down here we have a vad, kol verb to become lost, perish, go astray, and then he'emin is the verb to believe, and then ki'im, as we had before, because if or but. But then we've got he-che-ya, which is a verb to resuscitate, to revive, to raise from the dead. Again, we've got the root in there is chai, right? We know means to live. With the he in front, it is like to cause to live. And they use it as the word for revive, say, you know. But here it is shall live. Because the yod is imperfect and its root is chai or chaye, which means to live, right? So shall live. And the translation, so that all believing in him shall not perish, but rather live. So now we can read that. Lo yovad kol ha ma'amin bo ki im yich yea. Not shall perish all the ones believing in him, but shall live. And then we come to D, and we have an ayin. Vav, lamed, mem safit. So it is, we don't read this, so it's olam, olam, eternally. Now, of course, olam is a masculine noun, can mean eternity, world, cosmos, creation. But this is more like an adjective describing, or an adverb, we could say, shall live forever or eternally. And we read it, olam, eternally. And then we come to 17. It's represented by Yod, value of 10, Zion, value of 7. So we get 17. And we have a Kaf, Yod, Hey, Aleph, Lamed, Hey, Yod, Mem Safit, Lamed, Aleph, Shin, Lamed, Chet, Aleph, Tav, Bayet, Nun, Vav, Bayet, Ayin, Vav, Lamed, Mem Safit. Now we read it. Ki, for, Ha Elohim, the Elohim, lo not shalach, he did send. This root word here is shalach, meaning to send, to dispatch. So you could also say not he sent, right? Or he did send. Et grammar marker, beno, meaning his son. Again, the O at the end is his. Ba'olam. Ba can be in or into the world. And I've also given you shileach, which is a PL verb, which it's a literary term to release, to send away. And shulach is a verb to be sent. It's like a completed action, right? And so we can now read that. Ki ha Elohim lo shalach et beno ba'olam. For the Elohim, not he did send, grammar marker his son, into the world. And part B of that, we have Lamed, Dalet, Yod, Nun Sofit, Aleph, Tav, Hey, Ayin, Vav, Lamed, Mem Sofit, Kaf, Yod, Aleph, Mem Sofit, Lamed, Mem, Ayin, Nun Sofit, Yod, Vav, Shin, Ayin. Now let's read it. La din, to sentence. Now, of course, we can use different words there. Comes from din. As a masculine noun, it means sentence, judgment, or judge. So most translations use the word to judge, right? But literally, it also means to sentence. Et grammar marker ha'olam, meaning the world, to sentence the world. Ki im, again, but le ma'an, so that. This time I've used so that. And then we've got yivashah, yivashah, it shall be saved. Now, what is the root of that? It actually is yeshah. So why is it vashah? The reason is they won't put two yods together like that. And the yod is a weak letter, so they often replace it with a vav. But its root is literally yeshah, which is a masculine noun meaning salvation, rescue, help. So, and then I've added, because there's no pronoun, you can sort of add it to it, because we're talking about the world. It shall be saved. And the world, of course, doesn't necessarily mean the physical world, but rather the world of mankind. So, the translation, his son into the world to judge the world, but rather so that may be saved. Or you could say so that it may be saved. And now we read it. La din. Now remember, because you've got a yod there, the I sound is not short, but a little bit longer. La din. Et ha'olam ki im lema'an yivasha. Remembering that that A sound is longer than that sound. So it is yivasha. So I'm just emphasizing that we've got short and long vowel sounds. And so therefore it is to sentence, grammar marker, the world, but so that it shall be saved. Okay, and now we can move to 17c. And we have a bet, vav. Hey, ayin, vav, lamed, mem safit. And it is bo again, in him. No, and it's not the other bo, which is here, verb to come, or as an adjective next, oncoming, forthcoming. It is this bo, which is in him, or it. It's a third person, singular, masculine. So in him, ha'olam, the world. And the translation, maybe save the world in him. And you could say through him, I guess. And so we read, bo, ha'olam, in him, the world. And now we turn to 18, which is a yod 10, chet 8. So that's the 10th letter and the 8th letter of the alphabet. And we get Hey, Mem, Aleph, Mem, Yod, Nun Sofit, Bayet, Vav, Lamed, Aleph, Yod, Dalet, Yod, Nun Sofit, Vav, Aleph, Shin, Resh, Lamed, Aleph, Yod, Aleph, Mem, Yod, Nun Sofit, Bayet, and Vav. So you have Ha, Ma'amin. It means the ones believing. It has that participle form, but it means the ones believing, because we've got a hey in front of it too. Bo, in him. Lo, not. Ye, din, shall be sentenced, can be shall be judged. Va, a, shir, and who. Now, of course, a shir as a conjunction, it can mean that. It can mean which. It can mean who. It can mean whom. So it can be like a pronoun as well. And who. Lo, not. Ya'amin, not shall believe, because that's the imperfect with the yod, and amin means to believe, because the root is he'amin, but the hey dropped off because hey is a weak letter. So we have to get used to those sort of things. It's a verb to believe. So the yod tells us it's an imperfect, so it means shall believe, not shall believe. Bo, in him. So the one who believes in him is not condemned. That's the translation, or sentenced, right? But he who does not believe. So now, let us read that. Ha ma'amin, bo, lo, ye din, va'ashir, lo, ya'amin, bo. The one believing in him not shall be sentenced, and who not shall believe in him. Part B, we have a kaf, vayet, resh, nun, dalet, vav, nun sofit. Kaf, yod, lamed, aleph, hey, aleph, mem, yod, nun sofit. Bayet, shin, mem, safit, bayet, nun, safit, hey, aleph, lamed, hey, yod, mem, safit. And it is kevar, means already. So if we look down there, kevar is an adjective, meaning already or soon. So already, nadon, is sentenced. If we look down here, nadon is a verb to be sentenced, under discussion, to be debated. But in this context, it's best to say to be sentenced, is sentenced. And it also has its main root as being done, which is a cold verb to judge, to sentence, to sit in judgment, but it can also mean to debate, which is interesting. But in context, we know it means already is sentenced. Key for lo, not he'emin, not he believed, because we know he'emin means to believe. So not he believed. Be'shem, in the name, and I've added of, ben meaning the son, ha Elohim, of Elohim, the son of Elohim. Not believes in him is judged already, for he has not believed in the name of the Son of Elohim. So now we can read that. Kevar, nadon, ki, lo, He'emin Beshem Ben Ha-Elohim. And the translation already is sentenced for not he believed in the name of the Son of Elohim. And we have a Hey, Yod, Chet, Yod, Dalet. So it is Ha-Yachid. Ha-Yachid, the unique one. Or it could be just the unique. The Son of Elohim, the only one. Yachid is, as an adjective, means only, single, sole, unique, or singular, meaning there's no other. The Son of Elohim, the only one. And we read it, Ha-Yachid. Again, you got a I and a Y, so it's Eid. So it's like saying Eid, but we put it in one sound, a long I sound. Ha-Yachid. So just getting used to the longer sounds and the shorter sounds. We need to learn them properly so they're not just the same. So we get, firstly, we see where there's a tet. We know that has a value of 9, and we see a vav, a value of 6. So now we're doing our revision. So we know we're in 15. 9 and 6 is 15. Lema'an, which is for the sake assured that lo not yovad shall perish, because imperfect, kol ol kamatzrul ha-ma'amin, the believers, bo in him, or the ones believing, right? For the sake that not shall perish all the ones believing in him. Ki im bat yimsa, he shall find, vo in him, chaye, which is life, construct form, olam, forever or eternally. But he shall find in him life eternal. And then we have a tet, which is the 9th letter, so we've got 9, and Zion is 7. 9 and 7 is 16. Ki, for ahava, and I've added with devotion, and that can be love, devotion, passion. Rabbah, great. Ahav, he loved. Ha-Elohim, the Elohim, et ha-olam, the world. For with devotion great he loved the Elohim, the grammar mark of the world. So we see that the Elohim is he. And so we come to 16b, and we have ad, which ad ashir, which could be such that, Natan, he gave, et grammar marker, Beno, his son, et grammar marker, Yechido, his unique, or only, Lema'an, for the sake, ashir, that, or for the benefit that. Such that he gave, grammar marker, his son, grammar marker, his unique, his only, for the sake that. Lo not, yovad, shall perish. It's an imperfect. Kol, all, grammar, that's a kamatz rule, kol, ha-ma'amin, the ones believing, bo in him, ki im bat, yichyeh, shall live. Or you could even say he shall live, right? Not shall perish, all the ones believing in him, but shall live. Olam, meaning eternally, forever. Eternally. And now we have a Yod 10, Zion 7. So we're in 17. And we have Ki, for, Ha-Elohim, the Elohim, lo not, shalach, he did send, or he sent, et grammar marker beno, his son, ba'olam, into the world. For the Elohim, not he sent, grammar marker his son, into the world. La din, to sentence. Translated often as to judge. Et, grammar marker, ha'olam, the world, ki imbat, le ma'an, so that yivasha, it shall be saved. To sentence, grammar marker, the world, but so that it shall be saved. Bo, in him, ha'olam, the world. In him, the world. And then we have Yod, 10, Chet, 8. So in 18. Ha-ma'amin. The ones believing, bo, in him, lo, not, yidin, shall be sentenced or judged. Va'asher, and who, lo, not, ya'amin, shall believe, bo, in him, the one believing in him not shall be sentenced, and who not shall believe in him, kevar, already, nadon, is sentenced or is judged. Ki, for, lo, not, he'emin, he did believe, beshem, in the name, ben, of the son of Ha-Elohim. Already is sentenced, for not he believed in the name of the son of Elohim, of the Elohim. Ha-Yachid, the only, or the unique, and they'll translate as the unique one. And then we finally come, at the end of this, we come again to the vowels because we need to remember them. Kamatz, again, ka, it's got a longer A sound, and then we have pa, and we can hear it, patak. So pa is like a short A sound, and then we have zere. Now we can hear that's a longer E sound, zere. And then we have sego, which is a short E. Shiva, now that can sometimes have an E sound if there's a dagesh in the letter, then they'll begin with that one, but where it ends, it's the break in the word telling us the syllables. So it's very useful. And then we have cholam, and that gives the O sound, and often when it's above the vav, there's no vav sound. It's just an O sound, but there is some exceptions. Like when we have mitzvotav. So that's when the O is often put over here so that you know you say vo. But that's about the only time, very rare you see it. And then we've got kataf kamat. Again, it's got the longer A. And then we've got, we see we've got the shava in front of it, meaning that it's following that, right? Following the break in syllable. We have patak, short A, and then we have chirik, that's the I sound. Then we have kataf segol, so again it's a short E, segol. And then we have kubutz, which is a longer U sound. And then we have shuruk, which we can hear sounds shorter. And finally we come to the numbering. And of course the resources that I've repeated. And so let's just pick this line. We see Zion has a value of 7. Chet has a value of 8, Tet 9, Yod 10, Kaf 20, and Lamed 30. Okay, because I want us to get very familiar with that so we can identify exactly the value of the letters, so we know the verses, but also eventually you can look at the gematria of the words as well, which is another aspect of Hebrew. So we'd like to thank you for joining us, and we do pray you keep at this, because it is all about understanding Scripture in a better way. And we read it each night and we discover things, words, deeper meanings in words that are not brought out by translations often. So we just pray you are blessed. And so we ask, we pray that you have a Shavua Tov, a good week, in the name of Yeshua, our Messiah and our King. Amen.